I had to mow lawns bad.
This is the sound. Came back to mowing, Greg, right? It was draft time.
Draft time? I'm missing something there.
It's like the NFL draft. Got to get to it
Oh,
when I get back to mowing.
okay. Yeah, I spent plenty of time mowing today, and I still don't feel like I accomplished much. Or I
You're
didn't
only a day
accomplish
behind,
much.
right? You're only a day behind.
No, I only cut 8 lawns today. They were long and wet.
That's true. They were wet. Well, it is what it is. I mean, no one can complain at you for not damaging the lawn.
Yeah, no, I mean it was really bad. They were because we got that deluge last night.
That was bad.
And
that
it
went for
was
a while,
bad.
didn't it?
Yeah, and then a couple of the lawns they were watering as well, so it was just a mess. So and they were that I had to edge them, and it was terrible. So I was very slow today, but
Well, he could be slower. He could have been like me last Monday, who didn't even get to mow because remember when the multi-force went down, I told you I got no mowing done. So you got some mowing done.
Fortunately, although I did, because I spent so long on one of these clients' lawns, and I do a lot for him. I do well. He sent me $300 over and above.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
If I saw that, I'd be like, thanks, man.
Yeah. So that was kind of nice tip. So
Well, sometimes it pays, right? It pays to do that.
yeah. I tell you what, are you seeing a lot of crabgrass this year? Crabgrass
it's terrible.
and nutsedge. I'm seeing so much nutsedge around.
What is it? Nutsedge. I know what crabgrass is. Nutsedge. Let's look this up.
Nutsedge is it's kind of a long lime green type of grass. It'll grow. If you've got your Bermuda grass, it's at about 3 inches or 4 inches or whatever. The nutsedge will be at about 6 inches, and it's long and stringy and.
Yeah, now I'm seeing it. Yeah, that's all throughout my lawns. It's like the grass. It looks like the grass, but it's the long, odd, stringy out grass. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to see a bunch of that pop up too.
Is that a weed then?
Well, it's an invasive grass that's pseudo like a weed. I actually talked to Steve about that, and he told me, oh man, I thought I made a note of it. He told me how you could treat it, and unfortunately, I can't find my notes on it.
Pulling it has no effect, might even propagate it faster. You'd have to dig a foot into the soil to find its actual nut, and there's usually a bunch of them. I'm not a nutsedge expert. Huh.
It's a product called Certainty.
Oh, really?
Certainty.
Certainty.
T-Y. And he said that'll help with nutsedge, tall fescue, quackgrass, and it takes out all the unwanted grasses, but doesn't take out the grass you want.
Certainty. Man, Steve knows it all, Greg, doesn't he?
Yeah. So, but I was asking him about what to do on that, and I was talking to a FERT guy today, and he was saying, there's nothing you can do on this stuff. He says you can dig it up, but it comes back. He says you can burn it, but then you burn all the other grass around it, and you still have some of that stuff still hanging down there. I've been actually thinking about getting a propane, one of those flame things.
Like a flamethrower?
Flamethrower? Well, I forget, I don't know how they call it, but I've been kicking around getting one of those just to burn stuff off. And the only problem is you got to carry the tank around with you as well. So
pretty funny to see you burning off part of the grass there.
Mm-hmm.
The crabgrass bothers me because I flip edge, right? And some of the crabgrass, Greg, I don't know if you had this problem. It's so thick, and you're flip edging part of the driveway, you have to go over the spot again because the grass is just, it's just stocky. Or would that be a good way to describe that?
Yeah. It's the crabgrass is tough. You should have seen this guy's crabgrass today. I mean, I cut him last week. It was 1.5 feet tall in some spots.
Oh yeah,
it
I believe
just
that.
took off. Yeah. So, but anyways, so I was talking to this guy and this FERT guy, and I'm trying to get him. I'm trying to get my client to switch over to that FERT guy, and because the guys here using right now are not, this guy's got crabgrass all over the place, and they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah, because don't they just simply have to spray the crabgrass? Like, there's really not like taking stuff you can just put down, it goes right away, right?
Yeah, you can spray stuff, and apparently he said you can really hit it hard, but the problem is you're going to do some damage to the rest of the lawn. So it's kind of a tricky thing to have to do. And then you put the pre-emergent down in the spring, and that supposedly helps that stuff not come up, but I don't know. So we'll see. Hopefully, I'm hoping my client, will switch over to this other guy because I'm not happy with the FERT company he uses, and this is the second one that he's used.
Wonder if they
And
overcharge.
I don't know, but the guy's lawn is he's he started with one company, and a couple of years ago, last year I was looking at his lawn going, this is not green, and everybody else's lawns were green except his. And I said, "You're using a fertilizer company, aren't you?" He says, "Yeah." And I said, "They're not using nitrogen. They're just not giving you any nitrogen. They're putting water on this." And so he finally switched to a different company, but they're not lawn's green, but they're not taking care of the weeds.
No, it's funny you say that. I have a client, Greg. It was the one that we did the mulch job on. That really nice lady. It was just 4 yards there in the front. Really sweet
Yeah.
lady. About a month ago, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
She has True Green, and they came 4 times. She just signed up for 4 times, and it's been hot. Well, she calls me yesterday afternoon and says, basically tries to complain, saying her lawn's not green, and then trying to accuse me of cutting it too short. When I cut it with the Bobcat on 3.5,
Which is high.
yeah, which is actually
that Bobcat.
which is actually high. Yeah, the
Yeah,
3.5
it's
is
a
high.
true 3.5.
Yeah, that's a true 3.5, and that's actually high. So I told her I said, well, you're signed up with True Green, and then she says I asked her how often do you water, and she goes, oh, just when it's been really dry out. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, no. I'm like, you gotta water that at least 3 days a week
Yeah,
just to get that perked back up, though. Because
Yeah.
she said she stopped having it sprayed, but then she started having it sprayed again this year. The last 2 years she didn't have it sprayed.
mm-hmm.
So it's been so hot and the lawn's been under so much stress. You've even said, Greg, some of these guys you have to water it a lot just to get it back up to that regular normal schedule where you don't have to water it all the time, right?
Yeah. Well, I tell my clients if they're yellow, or if I have people that ask me about their lawns, I just my lawn's yellow or it's not very green. Look, just hit it hard and get it green rather than try and onesie twosie minute things. I said add 10 or 15 minutes to it and get it green, then you can back it down. But if you're trying to add 1 minute or 2 minutes, it's going to take you 6 weeks. I said just hit it hard, get it green, then you can back it down.
Because you were talking about nitrogen. I don't know if True Green's even putting nitrogen down at this lady's yard, because it was kind of it wasn't growing crazy when I mowed it Friday, but this past Friday, but it needed a cut though. And then she says it's like browned out. It's like your FERT guys must be putting something down, or they're spraying stuff down. She's not watering it, so it's browned out even more. Like these people, they sign up for a FERT service, they don't
Yeah.
water the stuff in. It's just going to brown your yard right out.
Right. Yeah, and if she's not been watering it enough, then that's a problem. And remember too, you got to water it a lot. Get it. It's much better to water, and we said this on that Newsmax show. Is it's better to water a lot and get your roots down into the soil than just kind of it's better to water 10 minutes 3 times a week than 5 minutes 5 times a week, because the roots will get down into the soil. So,
Yeah,
and that's
you want that
that's
to-
where you want them. You don't want them at the top because they're going to burn out if they're at the top.
Well, then riddle this one. It's in this neighborhood that I mow. It's next to one of my clients. He's just a nice guy. He had a bunch of trees cut down. He cleared it out, Greg, and he put down grass seed. He's been watering it like literally nonstop for the past he'd said a couple weeks he's been watering it, and the grass is coming in. Well, now the tree's dropping all the leaves, and he was trying to tell me today that he thinks maybe that he's been watering so much that he killed the tree. Is that possible to do that?
If he's been watering that much, I mean, it's possible you could do it, but What kind of tree is it? Is it a young tree or is it an old tree or?
It's an older maple tree. I was trying to tell him, I said, look, it's been really, really hot. And I was trying to tell him, I said, there's no way that you've watered it that much, because the grass that he put down has actually come in pretty nice. I mean, it was that cleanup that we did with Zach years ago where we were both on the blowers, and there was the one house with the cats. It wasn't that house. It was a house that we did that had a whole bunch of trees there in the front yard, and we blowed them all out to the front. That's one of that front yard wasn't very big, so we mulched them up in that one like 3-pass strip. Well, the guy got all those trees cut down, but he left 2 of them up, put down topsoil, grass seed, and I've seen it grow the past couple of weeks. But he was trying to tell me that he thinks he's killed this tree, because we pulled up and looked, and it looked like he needed a fall cleanup today. That's how many leaves were falling off the tree.
Oh wow! There's been a lot of leaves down though too, because it's been dry. Although the past, we had a bunch of rain yesterday, but it's been dry, and trees will lose their leaves when it starts drying out. So yeah, it's probably like a survival thing where they say, okay, we're not going to keep all these leaves because the leaves are taking the water or the moisture from the tree. So let's drop the leaves so the rest of the tree will get it. So it's tough to think that he overwatered and killed the tree, but when you put seed down, excuse me, I'm sorry. I just tell people, look, like that one that we did where we did the sidewalk, right by the sidewalk. Was great. Oh yeah. I told her, look, 10 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, just keep it moist. And I said, yeah, or that's even perfect. No, I'm sorry. I said 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, just to keep it moist. And I said, and then plus we put the straw down as well, and that straw will help keep the moisture in there as well. So, but if you're not putting straw down, then you want to water a little bit more. But you got to at least go 5 minutes at night just to make sure that this seed stays wet or moist, and to give it a chance to germinate.
That's perfectly said, and you sent me a picture of that grass, like, because we put a lot of seed down, and I was impressed, Greg, like you built that turf right back up. I mean, people just need to take notes. I think they put down topsoil and seed, and they don't water, then they wonder why nothing's grown. But you can even water it a little bit, like just keep it moist. Like, as you said, just keep it moist, and the grass will grow. People just don't do that. And then, people have been trying to pin stuff on us lately because it's been pretty darn hot. But on top of that, the rain's still plaguing us, though, Greg. I was sitting there. Yesterday, they were calling for rain earlier. It never really happened. But then when we got home, it was about, I think, this time last night, my face just dropped. I'm like, well, it's just coming down and coming down. And it's coming hard and coming down, and it wasn't stopping. So I was getting quite upset last night.
Well, I was mowing yesterday. I got everything done over in the Commerce area and got all my lawns done. I came home, and it rained here. And granted, I'm in Commerce. I am 10 minutes east of my house. We didn't have, and we got a lot of rain here, and we had no rain where I was. So it was really weird. But that was last night. When I was finishing up, I was cutting a couple of lawns, and I looked up. I just finished cutting them, and I looked up, and it was dark, and the clouds were dark. And so I ran and finished everything. I didn't even bother to trim, or didn't even bother to blow anything, because I knew it wasn't gonna be a problem. So, because everything was just gonna wash away, and it came down pretty good last night.
Well, you know what Aaron Sutter was saying when they were on the stream on Monday night? He was trying to say, Greg, I don't know if you heard any of that. He was trying to say that he's in a drought right now. I guess near the Metro Grand Rapids area, he said it was pretty much burned out. I guess it just depends on where you are. But you and we're staying green, though.
I had that. I met a guy, was it last year or the year before? I think it was last year. I was at a funeral, and of a good friend. And this guy I'm talking to found out he was a farmer. And I asked, how he was handling, because remember, we had a fair amount of rain last year. We had a lot of rain. And I said, how are you handling it? He says, well, I haven't been actually that bad, but he said Kalamazoo area was in a drought. They had no rain. And remember, we're pretty much directly east of Kalamazoo.
East. Yeah.
But they're, I was going to Kalamazoo, that's why I said west. But we're directly east, in particular you're directly east. I'm just a little bit north, but they had a drought going on, and he says bunch of people lost, bunch of the farmers that he knew there lost crops because they had a drought. So
That's, Aaron's probably right, but you and I, Greg, I don't know how is like the patterns have been set up with that. We're staying green. You're definitely staying green, and I was doing a lot of pondering. It's been nice to have the help, Greg, but I think this upcoming, so the lawn care season of 2026, I really think is because you have this smart. I really want to just jam this all down to 4 days of mowing now because I realize I'm too particular with the maintenance and stuff and falling behind. I think the 4 day mowing route should be kind of the default way to go. I mean, the 5's nice, but there's still probably some lawns I could weed out and kind of fix things even more because you've always been on the 4 day, haven't you?
My first year I was not. My first year I was just cutting whenever I could. I was dumb. I didn't set it up well. My second year I did. I think I did 5 days, and then I realized that wasn't working well. So then I switched to 4. So I think it was the third year I switched to 4 days a week.
That's been probably the best thing you did because now you have flexibility and room and margin for error. And we always talk about that because we always thought it was cool, Greg. Oh, yeah, just jam all your mowing into 5 days and then have the weekends open to get jobs done. Well, the way the weather's been, unless you got some consistent help, I would have, if I had no help the past couple of weeks, I would have probably been getting done at least Saturday half day or maybe like jamming everything late Friday. But I've been pleased with the Bobcat. I think I kind of fixed most of the issues with the cut. I think it turned out it was just the scalp wheels. They just need to be raised up. I mean, that was basically it. But
it's funny because I didn't even notice the scalp wheels when I was cutting.
Yeah, it's like because I noticed it when I went back into my trailer because I put the 2x10 pressure treated boards in my trailer. The Cub Cadet wouldn't hit, like the wheels wouldn't hit, but those scalp wheels kept hitting on the Bobcat.
Okay.
And so I was talking to Ron about this too. Ron said to raise them, but I was also telling Ron, I said because it was a prototype that, I mean, it's out now, but they manufactured it this past November or like something. Well, anyways, I noticed the welds on the anti-scalp rollers, like the two like metal little plates. I think they're almost low enough where they're dragging on the grass, and then behind, like underneath the deck where the center back anti-scalp roller is, they have these notches. There's like 4 or 5 different notches, and I see, and that's what's showing up on the cut. I think it's just they have these small little notches. I think they're dragging on the grass and creating that. But what I notice is that the line will go away. Like, sure, it will be there, but in like, I don't know, 10 minutes, it's basically gone. So I've been pleased with it, and I've been having quite the amount of fun. There's a big difference, though, Greg, with the EFI versus that Cub Cadet. Cub Cadet's been cutting fine, but I hate to mow with the Cub Cadet because it just drinks gas down. It's bad.
Okay, and that's got the 26 on it as well?
The Cub Cadet has the 25.5, but it's a regular carburetor. But the Bobcat's great. I think the tank on that Bobcat, that's not a very big tank. What is that, 6 gallon?
It's 6.3, I believe.
Yeah, 6.3. But
because it's the same tank as mine. It's the same frame. Everything's the same except it's a
the deck.
The deck is wider, or depends which. The 61, they use the same frame. It's just a 61-inch versus a 52-inch.
Well, I've been really liking it, though, lately because it's been barely drinking the gas, and I'm getting used to the controls on it, too. And I actually like how Bobcat, or Doosan Bobcat, the throttle is a knob rather than just a lever you push up, though. I feel like that locks into place better. They have a lot of things dialed in right. The only thing that I'm still trying to get used to is putting it back in from transport, Greg, all the way down to park. You have to put it in a certain corner when you put it back into park, or it'll kind of, like the mower will shut off on you. So you know how the mower can run on, but it has to be in park? Well, if you don't have it in the correct spot in the park zone, it'll just shut off on you. I noticed that.
Put it in the right spot.
Well, it's kind of hard. I mean, I'm not a seasoned Bobcat owner, but
it's kind of hard.
I was thinking, Greg. I mean, well, it'd be cool to talk to Ron. I mean, this is on air, but like whatever. It'd be cool to talk to Ron about maybe getting like a custom mower from it, because it'd be cool to have them put the biggest engine on, like a 52, and just fly with that. I was kind of almost privy because I like how the 52 shapes over the lawn better than I like how the 60 would. Like it just seems to hug over stuff way better.
It gives a little nicer cut than a 60. So, it's something that I think I noticed as well. It just looks like it gives a little nicer cut. And I can't remember if it was Ron or somebody told us that the 52s are the ones that are selling for the standers. The 52s are selling over the 61s. I know Tom over at Wheels and Blades told me they sell a lot more 52s than they do 61s. And they don't even make a 72 as a stander. And but he said they've been selling
It's
a lot.
interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why. I'm
Yeah,
curious. We should ask Ron. Ask Ron why. But remember,
does Ron know
Raleigh
why
had that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
Does Ron or Tom know why they're maybe selling more of the 52s versus the 61s?
I think it's just I think it's guys like to cut a little better, and they've got a little. You can get in more places. You've probably noticed that too, where there's some spots where you're able to get into, and you don't have to trim now because you're able to get that 52 into the spot as opposed to the 60 where it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence now. Like, hey, Ron, I want a custom Turf Nerds Bobcat. Like I'll pay for it. But that'd be kind of cool to get. But could they put I don't know. Could they put a bigger engine on that? He said that 26, but they could. Man, if they could put even, it'd be awesome if they could put like a 37 or 38 horsepower on that. That'd be a cooker. But they could do it because Skag can do it.
Yeah, Skag can do it. I don't know why Bobcat can't do it. They the muffler, when I was talking to Tom over at Wheels and Blades, I had said something that when I thought I'd blown my engine, I was trying to figure out if there was a way for me to be able to put on a bigger motor. And he said the muffler would be the issue. I guess they've got that thing on that wrap around on the muffler. And he said that would be the issue, that you might not be able to get the muffler on. So, but I guess that would be something Bobcat would have to devise and be able to get up with a bigger engine. But I think that 61 should have at least a 35 and preferably a 38 on it. So, but the 26 works well on that 52.
Oh, it screams. That little 52 screams on that. And I sharpened the set of blades that originally came on it, and I got them full balance. I had them razor sharp, Greg, and that thing was actually cutting really well on the wet grass. I had them like razor sharp. I deburred them, and it was just going through the wet grass there in the morning, nice. And now I can see the Air Effects deck that Ron was talking about with that. It leaves less clumps underneath the deck than the Multiforce did. Even though the Multiforce has the Turbo Force deck, so it can cut through any sort of wet grass. I'm starting to kind of turn around a Bobcat, and now I want one. Like maybe my Multiforce could be our landscaping mower, and then your main cutter could be a Bobcat 52 with the biggest engine they got. But if you said you don't know, well, we don't know if Bobcat can even make something like that. I mean, did they even carry like a Vanguard? I think I don't even know.
Isn't Vanguard only with Briggs?
I think it's only with Briggs, yeah. I don't,
Because
Kawasaki,
I think they only do Cowies on the Bobcat.
Yeah.
So, but I can't imagine why they wouldn't start using a Vanguard or start going to a Cowie with the Vanguard too. It would make sense, but I guess they want to sell theirs though too.
Well, one thing Bobcat did right, Greg, was the oil changes. It's really easy to do it on them because they have that like little nozzle. Mm-hmm. Other machines don't have that. Like it's kind of hard to change it on the Multiforce because you have to unscrew this like there's a bolt and then there's a little, I guess, nut that you like clamp onto. It looks like Bobcat made it easy. It's like that yellow plug. You just unscrew that and it comes right out, right? It's
actually real. That one's really nice because that hose is long as well. It's not long enough on my 61 because then what I have to do is I have to weigh it down with a wrench. So it'll stay down. But with with that 52, I noticed that they made the hose. It might be like 8 inches longer than the one that's on mine, and on my 61. And it was really easy to change the oil with that. So, and you got to get the engine hot too. You got to make sure your oil is hot. Otherwise, I did it once where I didn't get my engine hot, and I was trying to change the oil, and oh man.
You could sit there and take a nap.
I went off and did a bunch of stuff while I was waiting, and but it took a long time. But fortunately, I figured out, put it on, and then I also have a little bit of an angle on my driveway, and so I'll park it on that
Oh, it's
angle,
funny.
so it doubles. It's at a little bit of an angle as well. So
I mean, could you go out and order the longer hose from Bobcat? Because the way they have the oil, I guess, drip hose is just screwed on there. It's a big giant like bolt, right? Or nut that's
you know
just
what?
screwed
I
on.
haven't even paid attention to it. I just
I don't
noticed
know.
when I had that 52 that it was a lot longer than the one on my 61. So, but it might be worth considering. But like I said, I just throw a wrench on it just to hold it down and put my drip tray down there, and everything just goes into that. So
It's a solid machine and good engine, and we're finally getting a chance to really put us through its paces, Greg. Oh yeah, the other thing I think we figured out why it was cutting like junk was all the tire pressure. You can blame me on this one because I got to use it first from the start. Was it? One of them was like 6.5, 9.5, 15.5, and then 17. So it was all like wonked. I'm like, they probably could have explained why I was cutting so poorly, or perceived to be cutting so poorly.
yeah, I didn't even catch that. I should have looked, which makes me
Hey,
think I
blame
should
me
probably
first.
check the air pressure in my tires right now.
I was
So
really critical with you about it, and I even told Ron in that first email. I said, "Hey, what's up?" And then they even asked, "Did you check the tire pressure?" And I said, "Yes," when I didn't, because I just assumed, here guys, I assumed with a mower that had 11 hours on it that it like would have been okay. No, you constantly want to check it. Oh yeah, the other thing, I was half tempted, Greg. I wanted to reach out to Ron and say, "Hey, can you send me some semi-pneumatic tires or run flats just to put on them?" That's the only thing. Just the front ones, the
hmm
caster tires. I wish those were run flats because I'm afraid going around that I might run over a nail or something. Then I'll just send you a picture, and then you'd be laughing at me. Hey, you're just stuck somewhere.
another
You'd be like,
another nail.
you.
I had mine because I had the air tires in the front, and I had this big old bulge on the side of my tire. And I thought, well, I don't know, I can get a little further on it, and it blew up on me. It blew out, so
I think I remember seeing that
doggone it.
picture.
Yeah. So then I wound up getting some pneumatics on it. I just said I'm not messing around with this. So
They're expensive though, aren't they?
yeah,
Like
they
the
were they were $300 if I recall, roughly.
yeah,
Ballpark, a little bit higher.
that's about the price of the multi-force caster tires upgrade. That was about, I think it was like, oh man, I think it was right around $300. But if they could put some run flats on the
Mm-hmm.
52-inch Bobcat, but I have everything dialed in, the pressure's all set. I'm kind of liking the deck height control. I like the metal adjustment. I don't know what you call that, like a
Oh,
pin.
the pin?
It's shaped like a kind of like a U, or like a
Yeah.
bracket. I feel like it's more secure into the deck than like the multi-force is just a straight pin. And
Yeah.
that pin can wear over time. And if that pin wears over time, you might be able to kind of change the cut a little bit. Like it could be like a little bit cattywampus because it's just a pin, but they seem to have that pretty secure. It's cool, been bouncing through mowers. Oh, it's also way easier changing the blades on the Bobcat than it was the multi-force. Just the bushing and how everything's set. I felt like that was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny is you're I've only really got experience with the Bobcat. I've got a little bit of experience with that with my walk behind, but quite. I'm trying to think the last time I changed the blades on my walk behind, and I haven't used my walk behind in I don't know how long. Since we got, it's probably been 2 months since I've used my walk behind.
The X Mark
And
X Series walk behind, that thing's still
yeah,
a beast, isn't it?
oh yeah, it's got a nice cut. It's got a um, it leaves a nice line. But the problem is I've got that um,
Sulky.
sulky, and the wheels on the sulky are leaving two more lines on there, so it kind of ruins the cut. It
Oh
ruins
yeah,
the
that
look.
just drags. And we both despise that sulky. When Zach used it, he was a little bit he was too big for it, so he'd ride over curbs and he would scrape the bottom. And then
Hmm.
on top of that, I think the bearings in one of the sulky tires is just going, like it's just bad.
Yeah, it probably
But
is.
that doesn't matter. But I never realized how much of a pain it was to even mow with that thing and even use the controls on it. You watch out, guys, using the sulky with those controls on the X Mark walk behind. I mean, you could launch off of that mower because if one of those controls locks in, See you later, right?
Yeah.
You'll be
Oh
gone.
yeah. But there's a couple of lawns that I've used that on where I lost control of my one of the lawns I was cutting last year. I lost complete control of the bobcat going down the hill, and not a chance. I mean, I almost took out the neighbor's shrubs, and but the walk behind
Run away
t-
more.
took it no problem. So it was just it's just I don't know why it is, but that walk behind was able to handle that. It's kind of funny. You think, well, it's got that low center of gravity to the with it.
That's what
And
it is.
it's got to be, but it surprised me how well that handled that steep hill. So, and it was a hill that was steep, angled as well. So it was bad hill, and Bobcat couldn't do it. And then the walk behind, I brought the walk behind with me one day just because I wanted to see, and it took it with no problem. But the problem with that it didn't have a chute blocker. And so
You're
I was
just
blowing
shooting
grass
grass
everywhere on it. So
You're donating grass everywhere, weren't you?
yeah, yeah. So the neighbor got a bunch of grass, and it was just a pain. But that was the lawn that it was taking me 2 hours to cut because the guy had
Oh,
over
man.
fertilized.
Oh yeah, he was that guy, and then one day
Yeah.
you told him sayonara, right?
Yeah, I just told him, look, I can't spend 2 hours on a lawn. Well, Greg, I don't want to lose you. I said, you don't want to pay me $200 to mow your lawn once a week. And
He'd be like, nope, no thanks.
and then he had a pool, and that was a problem, and dogs, and he had 3 dogs, a pool, and it was just, I said, no, I can't do this. So
It would have taken me longer because I would have been like even more picky with you on that lawn, and I would totally say prices like 200. Bye, see you later. I mean, you were
Yeah.
you were making it look real good, and he was just like, yeah, no. So,
Yeah.
wonder if he found someone else to do it, didn't he?
No, he started doing it himself.
Oh man.
And I think he does it. I think he might do it like every 5 days because it was so long.
Oh, really?
There's a few things about that lawn. I could tell you some things going on over there, but he I think he's cutting maybe every 5 days now because it was just too long.
He needs to cut that at like every 4 or 3 days. But hey, Greg, before we kind of wrap up, why don't you tell us all about your little trip that you were on? Because I had no idea. I didn't even really know who Savannah Bananas were. I know they're going to be at the expo, but what'd you kind of do these past couple of days?
We went out to visit my son in Colorado, and we were able to do a little bit of hiking. Unfortunately, he had to work some because of some circumstances that came up. So he wound up having to work. So we only were able to see him a couple of evenings, and then he wanted to go to a ball game. So we wound up getting into the Savannah Bananas. And I don't know if you the Savannah Bananas CEO or owner is going to be at Expo, and what they do there is amazing, and they have so much stuff going on in a game. They play baseball, but they make up their own rules. Like apparently they say, look, if you're going to walk, we hate walks. So if anybody walks, everybody on the team, everybody on defense has to touch the ball, but that guy, instead of taking the walk, he gets to run around the bases. And if he touches home before everybody on the defense touches the ball, it's a home run. So
That's wonky rules, right? Oh man.
yeah, yeah. Foul balls into the stands. If the fan catches the ball, it's an out. So what else did they do? They had so much stuff going on here. I'm not kidding you, Evan. There were 3 things going on at any given time during the game, and they'd break into a dance in the middle of the game. They'll have the second baseman and the shortstop come up to the pitcher's mound, and then they'll all stand there in a circle, and one of them will get the ball, and then they all stand by the pitcher's mound. You got to figure out which guy's pitching the ball, actually has the ball and is pitching it to you.
It's like trick baseball almost. I don't think I'd be very good at like even playing or like following it along. It sounds like it's very entertaining but confusing, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not confusing. It's just they just have so much stuff going on because they're trying to keep everybody entertained. So, for example, they have while you got a guy up to bat, they show the camera angle, and you see all the guys in the. Well, they don't even sit in the dugout. They just sit up in the they just sit up on the grass. Nobody's in the dugout. But while they've got stuff going on, so what they did was you could see the batter, and then they would show the guys. You'd see the guys in the background, and they've got their bats stacked like a fire. You know, so you know how you tripod, you know, you triangle with your with the logs to
wow.
create heat. So they stack bats that look like that, and then they're sitting there, and they've got a paper cup sitting on the end of a bat, and they're holding it like they're roasting marshmallows. And this is while the guy's up the bat, a guy from another team's up the bat. It's just
Entertaining.
It's funny, and so you got the guy up the bat, and then you got these guys in the background roasting their paper cups. And in the meantime, there's somebody out in the outfield, and they have this guy dressed up as a banana, and he's standing in the outfield in the right field corner, and he's raising his hands up just to try and get people to cheer. So he'd raise his hands, and they go, oh, and he'd bring them back down, and he'd bring them up a little higher, and people would get a little bit louder. And then he'd get his hands all the way up, and everybody would be yelling and screaming. Then he would turn and get the opposite corner, the left field corner, and do the same thing with those guys. And so, but this is while the guy's up to bat, and that's while the guys are doing the fireplace thing, and or the roasting the marshmallow thing. And I mean, there's something going on the whole time, and it was fun. I mean, it was a lot. They just constantly were doing things. They'd stop the game and do a bunch of stuff. And they have a guy out on stilts. He's on 10-foot stilts. He comes
Holy
up
smokes.
to bat, and it was just fun. And they just have a blast while they're doing it.
Didn't you say that you you thought it was going to be like you were intending on going to a Major League Baseball game, but then something happened and you guys still got in? What was that? Yeah,
that's
something happened.
That's something I can't really talk about. So,
well, hey, you still got in though. So
yeah, so it was just a fun time, and if you get a chance, guys, go see this fan of bananas. And the CEO is going to be at Expo, so I want to try and get up and talk to him just to share a few things with him if I can. After he's done talking. So it's just a matter of what you can do and what opportunities you have. If you want to bring your kids to the games, you'll have fun. And the music, they have music. You know, they'll have music going when somebody's walking up to bat. They have the walk-up music, or they'll have background music. They had music going. Every song that you can imagine that you liked ever in your life.
There?
They were playing. They'd play 10, 15 seconds of it. As soon as that song ended, they'd go to another song. And you're sitting there listening to every song you ever heard that you liked. And boom, goes to the next one. Boom, goes to the next one. Boom, goes to the next one. Just constant stuff going on. So,
was this place packed?
Oh, yeah. It was... the only problem we found there was the sound. It was very hard to hear when they were trying to announce. You just couldn't hear what they were saying. And I heard two things. They said, "Thank you. We've had 100,000 people in 2 days." Because they seat about 50,000, I guess. And they said we had 100,000 people. We've been here for 2 days. And then there was something else that they had. They had some guy dressed, or some guy that an overweight older guy that took off his shirt and danced around. So you see his fat blubber kind of going around, jiggling around. And then the guy said, "Yeah, he's 62 years old." And I'm thinking, I'm 62. I look better than that.
You have more hair than me, Greg.
Yeah.
You probably look light years better than that. Well, that's entertaining. That's a great preview of what maybe could happen there at the expo. But I think at the expo, the CEO is coming from Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
No, that'd be cool if they could do like a mini act or skit in the area where they have the opening keynote. But I'd be curious to see what they're going to do with that. Drawing a blank on that guy's name.
Excuse me. Well, he's just going to talk about how he grew, and what he did and how he was sitting around and I'm trying to think. I was on their website looking up something, and let me see if I can find out. We're not your typical baseball team. We're different. We take chances. We toe the line. We test the rules. We challenge. There was a quote I saw from the Savannah Banana. Let me see if I can find his. Hang on. He
Well,
had
it sounds
some
like you had a great.
quote.
Oh, was that on the Expo website? The
No.
Equip Expo.
Let me see if I can
Who's
find
the
one
guy?
thing. Something that he had said that was really
probably
kind of interesting.
Probably paid
Uh,
big time to have this guy coming though.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. It's
this
a
ain't
big deal.
cheap.
These guys.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, they're a few years old and they've just grown like crazy. And um,
I was
yeah, I
trying to
can't find a
find the
quote.
event schedule. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
So he's going to be.
Jesse
He'll
Cole.
probably be the Wednesday morning guy.
Jesse Cole, Wednesday, October 22nd at 11 a.m. Jesse Cole, the mastermind behind the Savannah Bananas, a baseball and sports entertainment phenomenon, will deliver the opening keynote at Equip. Well, that's
Yeah.
it.
They put fans first. That's what they say, and it's all about the fans. They're pulling fans down. You know how you go to a baseball game and they'll pull one fan in to draw something and do a drawing or something. But these guys, they had fans there the whole time. Oh, the opening, the first pitch.
Oh, yeah.
When you throw out the opening pitch, it's a banana. So they have to throw out the banana. But what they do is
really?
they blindfold the guy that's doing the throwing out the first pitch, and this was pretty funny actually. So they blindfold the guy and they just toss the banana somewhere, and the fans help the guy find it. So
Oh,
when the
that's
guy's
funny.
going away from it, they
Oh,
boo
yeah.
him, and when he's getting closer to it, they cheer. So this guy's crawling around all over on the grass trying to find this banana, and it was pretty funny. You're hearing boo boo, yay yay, cheering, and so it was pretty funny. That was neat. And then the guy throws out, then he throws the banana, and it basically falls apart while he's trying to throw it to home plate when he finally gets to it.
We have some bananas here. Speaking, I might go eat one. I'm getting tired, Greg. You're yawning. I'm going to come over and tuck in your cat, okay?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Yeah. He'll
See you
use
guys.
that. See ya.